So this was your first remote
Oh yeah,
opportunity.
cool. So yeah, this isn't my first remote opportunity. I bounced around a couple different remote opportunities, but this is the first one that I've really like connected with. So where I'm like, man, I really love this offer, you know. So we basically help artists market and promote their music. Okay. Most artists, 99% of artists, they don't know what they're doing when it comes to actually marketing and promoting their music. They're lost. They're just posting their music on their Instagram, their SoundCloud, and just hoping they get discovered. But that's just no longer the case anymore. See, you have to actually, you know, market and promote yourself, especially now that we have access to the internet. Like there's so many different distractions pulling people away from, you know, the music itself. You know, there's millions of artists coming out every single day. You have to actually stand out. You know, you can't just be a one trick pony, a one dimensional pony. I like to tell the artists, hey, you have to actually stand out. See, the 10% is the music, okay? That's only like a commercial. That's what gets the people in the door. The other 90% is your brand, you know, what you're about, you know, the different offers that you can actually give to your fan base, you know. And you have to actually build a direct line of communication with your fan base because those are your main customer base. You know, that's your main customer base, your main consumer. What type of business only focuses solely on their product and doesn't understand their consumer? It just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So I break that down for them. And then they're like, oh, you make a whole lot of sense. Like, oh,
Mm,
yeah. How do I expect to really make any money if I don't even have a customer base, a fan base? So they start to
yeah.
really shift their paradigm. They're like, okay, I'm an actual business. I'm more than just a music man or an artist. You know, I'm a business, music business. So we teach them the music business side of things. So yeah, this is the first offer where I'm really like resonating with it. You know, I've always loved music. I went to high school, performing arts high school, always been into arts all my life. So I actually love this offer. So I'm really passionate about this offer. You know, I love waking up every day, getting to talk to artists, you know, very creative people. I get to listen to their music. I get to talk to them about their music, you know, about the whole music side of things. So for me, it's just like fun, like for sure. So this is the first offer that I've really like resonated with, you know, an offer that I actually like to, you know, be a sales or be a phone closer for. I actually like to represent this, you know, this company overall just because of how much I love the product. I love the influencer, platinum level producer. It's really cool talking to him. He's really shifting my paradigms and my perspectives. He's really big in the music industry, and he just has a different way of seeing things. So not only am I, you know, selling for an offer that I really love, I'm actually getting mentored by someone who has way more years of experience than me. You know, he's
Mm,
really opening my eyes and like opening my mind to different ideas, you know, that I would never get with regular people, not anyone in my immediate circle. That's what makes the internet so great. These type of
yeah.
people are out there. All you have to do is reach out to them and find
Yeah.
them. You know, like there are people with so much knowledge, you know, that are just there, you know, for you to just message over the phone, over the computer. It's so easy nowadays, you know. It's like, why not take advantage of this opportunity, you know? So yeah, this is the first offer I've really like actually been like happy to wake up about. I tried door to door roofing. Man, whew, I did not enjoy that at all. I actually tried remote solar for a while as well. Did not really resonate with that at all. I didn't like resonate with the offer itself. You know, I feel like if you don't really resonate with the offer, you're not going to perform as well as you would if you did actually, you know, resonate with the offer and you're like, hey, I really love this thing. You know, yo, I'm passionate about this thing. I can wake up every single day and do this all the time. You know, to a point where it's not even like a work for me anymore. It's just, you know, me
Mm.
like living my passion, you know, just having fun conversations about a product that I love. You know, instead of trying to do roofing or sell like a solar panels that you don't really understand, you know, if you, I feel like there has to be some sort of understanding of the product itself, of course, because like, and some sort of connection with the product. Because if you don't have any connection with the product, how are you supposed to transfer that conviction, transfer that confidence in the product? And I get there are some salespeople who can do that. You know, they don't have that, you know, direct connection with the product itself, but they can still, you know, get another person to do it. But I just don't operate that way. You know, I feel like I perform way better when I actually resonate with the offer itself. So this is the first offer I've
Mm.
really resonated with.
So you bounced around for a little while here and there. Have you, before all of this, did you do any form of like closer program, setter training, anything like that?
Yeah, so I guess the I was more of a appointment setter for the door to door. That wasn't remote at all. That was like
No, no,
in
for
person.
remote, for remote.
Oh, for remote. When you were saying those groups, that those little like tester groups on Facebook who are like trying to start up their company, I think I did that like once, like that was like a long time ago, like a summer ago, and they were trying to, get you to appointments set on the Facebook. I just wasn't really an appointment setter. I just never really like resonated with like the appointment setting. I understand how to do it now, of course, because I've done it. I've done door to door in person for appointment setting, and I've done the appointment setting remotely as well. So I understand, how it is. It's basically a numbers game, and you're messaging a whole lot of people, trying to add as much value as you possibly can to book a call, actually get them into your calendar. So I've done the appointment setting, but I didn't really resonate with appointment setting itself. I feel
Hmm.
like I'm way more better as a closer, actually
Yeah,
talking
just
to
just to be
people.
clear, you text really well. You're very
Oh,
clear in your
yeah.
text. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I
So
have done the appointment setting. Mhm.
let's share both sides of our stories because I remember a couple months back I was promoting my programs and then suddenly I see a sale come in and this BP guy buying my program. So like at what point did you like how did you chance upon my stuff and what was your mindset like when you hey I'm gonna buy this guy's stuff and see what is he up to? Like what was your experience like?
Yeah, so my mindset at the time, I discovered you actually on YouTube. I was watching your interviews for remote closing. It was an interview that you were doing. You're like, okay, this is how you do the interview for your remote closing. And you're like, always early is on time is late. You were setting up, everything was getting set up. He was like, so I'm waiting for my influencer right now, and boom. Then I watched that video. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So at that point, I was actually applying to every single opportunity you could think of. I was on the hunt. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get into this remote closing, this remote sales thing. Let me go and apply to everything I possibly can. And I wanted to be prepared for, an interview. I'm like, okay, so how should I do this interview for remote? I've done interviews in like real life jobs. I'm like, how do I do interviews for remote? So, that's how I actually discovered you through your YouTube channel, actually, and I got a whole lot of value out of that video. I was like, started watching some more videos. I was like, okay, this guy's more like he has some like some more substance. He's not like all these other guys trying to sell you on some course, sell you the dream, the vacation of, oh, it's so easy, just go on the phone, work wherever you want. Oh, just take calls and make thousands of dollars a day. Buy my course, my thousands of dollars worth of courses. So I like the fact that you actually, gave some form of value, some form of substance. You're more down to earth, more like chill. Way very more like relatable and like connectable. You actually shared your story how like hey. You started off, you like some days like you didn't have like enough food sometimes. You were living off of like one meal a
Yeah.
day, and then her transformation, man, it was incredible. I was like, yo, this dude is doing it at the highest level, man. Like he transformed. I'm like, if he can do that, if he can transform himself, then damn. And like now I'm inspired. Now I'm like, hey, I really want to learn more from this guy because this guy has some realness to him. He's not like just trying to sell me on some shit. He actually has a real story about how he came up, and he actually has some knowledge on how this entire thing works. So I was just like, okay, cool. And then I see, hey, the complete closer. I was like, okay, this is cool. You're more well-rounded. You actually understand everything when it comes to managing your pipeline, when it comes to actually being able to go out and secure an influencer. Even though at the time I was like, okay, it's just a simple game of apply to everything you can and really just luck. Of hey, they like what you have to say, they like what you hear. They like what you bring to the table, and they want you to be a part of their team. So that's why I actually ended up going into the complete for the course. That in my mindset at the time was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I am a remote closer. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going at this full force. So no matter
Yeah.
what, I'm going to secure this because this is what I'm
Hmm.
going to do. This is what I'm going to do for sure. So yeah, that was my mindset at the time for sure.
Yes, and the beginner stuff aside, you mentioned that when you were in the program, the inner fire was the one that really helped you. So how does that work? Because that is actually the most obscure part of my program. Most people is like how to find influencer, how to set, how to close. But you were like, no one has talked about inner fire before. You're the first. So I really wanted to get on
Wow.
this call to understand like how did it actually help you?
Yeah, so with the whole inner fire, I love the idea that hey, it's more of an intrinsic thing when it comes to success, manifesting. It all starts inside, as above, so below, as within, so without. So I love the whole esoteric take on things. It's more ancient knowledge, but it's still valuable today. It still applies today how hey, everything starts within. It's all about inside of you, okay? Everyone's always chasing everything outside of them. They're always chasing after, money, material possessions, all these physical things. But when it comes to the internal, internal spiritual things and their mindset, their subconscious, they don't really stop to actually take a look into that. It's all right here. It's nowhere outside of you. It's all within. 99% of the world, I believe, is mental. It's all the subconscious, the conscious mind, and the unconscious mind. And I loved how you actually tapped into saying, hey, your subconscious is way more important than you think. You being able to meditate, sit in the silence, not only that, but just hear your inner mental frames, your mental frameworks, your own the thought forms, hearing what's actually going on inside of you is, I feel like, I guess, far more important than just chasing after all these things on the external. And I really love that, hey, you had to focus on the subconscious mind and like the affirmations to the point where, hey, your subconscious plays a bigger world, deeper world than you think, whether you're aware of it or not. The things you hear, what you consume, the energy that you're actually putting out really is what returns to you. When you have to give in order to receive. So whatever you're giving is what is just going to come back to you. It makes so much sense to me, for me, the whole esoteric idea of, hey, it all starts from within. Really listen to your inner self and being
Mm.
okay and comfortable with your inner voice, your inner silence. Like, everyone has that fire inside of them. It's already ignited. You just have to channel it. You just have to tap into it. And I really started to, take that to heart. For the longest, I was like, okay, let me try to, stay away from the external. Let me actually, try to get more into meditation, more into my inner self. I realized how much that translates over to your performance,
Yeah,
especially with closing. Like, it's all subconscious, it's all mental.
yeah.
It's all personal development when it comes to your inner self. So I realize how valuable that is. I feel like that's the 20% of like the 80% of your results, is your
Mm.
internal state. Because if you're not in
Yeah.
a good external internal state, how do you expect to really manifest anything from the external? It just doesn't work that way. It all starts from within. So I loved how you actually went more into that abstract idea. I know not everyone's gonna really be into that. Not everyone's gonna
Yeah.
understand that. Most people are just on the surface level, baseline knowledge when it comes to their self. They don't really understand something so abstract to where it's there's not like a definite answer. It's not like apples or oranges. It's more to do with just your inner self. It's not like a concrete thing. It's an abstract idea that only you yourself will be able to understand within you. Like, it's a personal thing that only you have the answer to. It's within you. So I love how you focus more on the answers within you, because like you said, your subconscious is your best friend. It will
Mm.
do things for you that you would never expect like it to do for you. It does more things for you than anyone else in the world. I love how you focus more on saying, hey, you are your own best friend. You can ask your subconscious to give you that strength, to give you that courage, to give you that
Oh,
tenacity,
you
to
you
give
really studied my
yeah.
stuff.
Yes, man. Like, I was doing that, man. I was talking to myself in the shower, saying, you have the conviction, you are a closer, you have the ability to close, you have willpower, you are strong, you are resilient, you are brave, you are bold, you have the power to change your life, you hold all the power, you are in complete control, your inner fire is strong. That it works. It works. I can't really explain it. It works. It works. Okay. It really programming your subconscious, I realize it works. Okay, it works. Even if you're not consciously aware of it, it applies to everything. In everything you do. If you're actually focusing more, if you're actually programming yourself, actually that 10 that so the that 10 minutes, that 5 minutes of you talking to yourself makes a huge difference for the rest of your day, for that rest of the 8 hours that you're awake. So I feel like that important thing, that's like the 20%, like I said, of the 80% of results, if not the 10% of what you do. That for that 10 minutes, for that 5 minutes, that translates over to so many things. It translates to your mental well-being. It translates to your performance within your job space. I feel like it really manifested my opportunity for my remote closing because
Yeah.
my mindset was different. I had a
Mm.
completely different mindset. I was ready to actually come into it. I feel like once I was ready in the internal, it manifested in the external. It came to me. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. You finally believe in yourself. You're finally very self-confident within yourself. Okay, let's see how you manage to actually perform once we give you this opportunity. And then boom,
Mm.
I closed 2 sales my first day, no real like no real
Okay,
like remote
hold up, hold
closing.
up, hold up. So,
Yeah.
you were bouncing around, then you did the complete closer, then you went through inner fire, then you manifested this opportunity, and then you sent me a text. You said, "Hey, I closed. I collected $1,200 in cash, and this is your first week on this
First
team."
week.
So from building yourself up, preparing yourself, and then making the adjustments, and then now the result come. How did you feel?
I was just like, yo, so not only was that my first week, my first day, I collected $1,000 in commissions. Okay, that $1,000 came from my first day. I closed 2 sales my first day. Like my first day on the job, I was like, I don't even think I really felt anything. I was just like, oh, cool, I closed 2 sales. Like, let's do it again. Let me keep going. Let me
Yeah.
keep pushing this thing. But I feel like I almost didn't process it. I was just like, I used to, work at Chick-fil-A. It used to, when I was a younger in high school, it would take me at least 2 weeks and working 60 to, 70 hours every 2 weeks to just make, like $400. And I just made $1,000 in a day from,
Mm.
in like
Because
a
when
couple
I when I
hours. Yeah.
posted when I posted a screenshot and then people are texting me like, how did this guy do it? And they don't understand the journey that you have to go through in order to, because they think it's like fast money, but
Quick.
you really have
Right.
this process. So what would you say if someone were in your shoes, they're in the States or they're like me in Asia, and they come across this opportunity and they're like, how does it work? How do you guys do it? What would you say to someone like in your position when you were working, slogging it out, and you were stuck? Like, what would you say maybe to the younger, earlier version of yourself?
I would say, man, keep your head up. Don't get discouraged, okay? Focus on just improving, getting 1% better every single day, okay? It's not all gonna happen overnight, okay? It just takes patience, discipline, whole lot of patience. I realized that, hey, most of this is just patience, waiting for the right opportunity, then taking the intentional action. Everything is intention. Everything you do, make sure that that is intentional. Make sure that everything you do has a purpose. Like you said, you're always in training mode. Everything you do, how you do one thing is how you
You
do
really
everything.
remember the stuff I said.
Yeah, even my influencer told me that. Even my influencer told me the same concept as you. He was like, "How you do one thing is how you do everything." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Sean told me this as well. Like you're always in training mode, even though hey, you may be in the park just sitting down. You're training your focus, your mental how to relax. You're training. Like, you're always training something, no matter what you're doing. So yeah, I really internalized those ideas and really just applied that to my own life. I realized that hey, like they're onto something. They obviously know something that I don't. Let me apply these ideas. So I would definitely tell my older self, of course, listen to Sean, listen to his ideas, actually internalize everything. Everything you're in training mode all the time. Okay. Everything you do will correlate with each other. It's more of a holistic thing. It's more of a the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, so you can't just focus on only one area and expect everything to all like work out. You have to actually look at everything as a whole and say, okay, what is everything I'm doing right now? Is everything I'm doing right now, like the collective of what I'm doing, is that all an intentional thing, or am I being led astray by some things? Am I operating in these lower vibrational states of greed or pride or depression, sloth. Am I really am I really staying in a high vibrational frequency to the point where I'm thriving, and I'm enjoying every single moment of my life?
Mm.
Because if there's no joy in your life, if you're not actually, have that sense of not only purpose, but like, but like stability, emotional balance. I feel like, and having that balance within your life, if everything's not balanced, then what's the point of it all? What's the point of all making all this money if you don't have emotional stability and balance? So yeah, I'll definitely tell my younger self advice for him: keep pushing, keep going. You know, when you learn something, retain it, learn it, and then execute. Execution, learning, executing, and being consistent. Those three things will get you way farther than anything else in life. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, if you don't have the ability to actually execute and take the proper intentional actions, you're not going to be able to get anywhere. You'll have all this knowledge and you'll be a great professor. You can be a great teacher, and teach all these people these ideas. But when it comes to actually implementing and taking action in your life, that's going to be where you fall short. So of course,
Yeah,
learn. Like, you can learn only, like, learning is great, like, learn, but also
implement. Yeah,
implementation is probably the best thing you can do, because experience, I feel like, is the best teacher. Okay, you
yeah,
can, stay in a library for the rest of your life and think about how the world works, and like philosophize, yeah, philosophy, what I mean, like, really think about the world and like think about, oh, how it is, but you can literally just go outside and see for yourself and experience it yourself, and then you'll get an even better answer than you would when you're, just in a library all day.
yeah,
Go out in the real world, experience it, learn from your experiences. The experience itself, the implementation and the execution of those ideas are what makes you grow. It's the personal development that comes from, going out in the world and making those mistakes and learning from those mistakes. And then once, hey, you keep on going, you're actually implementing, you're actually in the action and intentional action and actually implementing and executing. Be consistent. Consistency, that's probably one of the most important things, being consistent every single day. That's how you succeed in life. Like, some people, not everyone's super smart, but they're taking action and they're being consistent,
yeah,
but like those two things, like, actually being consistent and actually taking action. I feel like those two things on their own have learning within them. So the learning, I feel like, that's great and all, to learn, but at some point you have to actually take action, intentional action. You have to actually go out there, make the mistakes so that you can learn from them. Then you just gotta be consistent. Okay, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's a daily process. Take it day by day. Just get 1% better every single day, and you'll be amazed of how much progress you can make in such a short amount of time, for sure.
very, 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 very well said. I have to go now. I think we both have calls to take later in the day. Yeah.
Got one at
So
10:15. Yeah.
yeah, so the pick one or two calls and then just text me on Telegram, and then I'll have a listen, and then I will see what's happening inside. And yeah, I think that's it for me for now. We will do another call when I listen to it, and then I will figure out what to do afterwards, and then let's connect again maybe in a week, and then we will see what we can do from there.
For sure, man. I'll send those over to you. And I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, man, to come speak with me, man. Awesome. For sure.
It's a pleasure.